Hey guys, Thetcglover here. How are we doing today? So today's video is going to come at you talking about the ban list. Now everyone is anticipating this ban list. Of course, if the ban list was on time, then it would have arrived on July the 1st, which was 2 days ago, the hottest day recorded in London for the last 11 years, I believe. The ban list hasn't turned up yet. Kevin Tuer, the head of R&D in Konami, he sent a little press release basically saying that the ban list will turn up when it's ready to turn up. And so it leads me to think, should the forbidden list really be flexible? Is it really going to be beneficial to the game to not put an end date on the ban list? And so people are just wondering, is it going to turn up on July the 1st? Is it going to turn up August the 1st? Is it going to turn up at all? We don't know. And of course, I did speak to PJ Tierney, who is the guy who actually updates the list using HTML and CSS. He actually updates it himself once he gets the web page. He said that he hasn't actually got it yet, so he can't update it since he has to actually get the list off someone else to actually update the list. There is no chance of an update in the next week or so. It's possible that we may be waiting even longer than that, but one thing's for sure, I'm pretty sure it's going to turn up after Euros. So if you're at Euros this weekend, you don't have to worry too much. So I listed a little bunch of pros and cons. What is the pros of a flexible ban list? So the first thing is that it allows for better hits on the list. Now what this means is that if you give yourself more time, you can generally prepare a better list. You can also wait until a set comes out so that you can actually hit a card when it's a problem rather than hitting it if it becomes a problem. So if you hit something and it turns out no one was going to bother playing the deck anyway, then it's like, well, there you go then, so what was the point hitting it? And no one's actually got any bother with it, and if you bring it off the list, no one was going to play it anyway, so they were just hitting cards for no reason. They could kill off decks that actually weren't going to be an issue, you know. So it's possible that people weren't going to play Necros, for example, and then they were hitting cards prematurely thinking that it was going to destroy the game. And so better hits on the list basically saying that they would be able to contemplate whether or not a card will be an issue really, and then basically just hold out a little bit longer until the actual set comes along and then hit it then. So it's a bit iffy on that one, but I think it makes sense. The next one is that it can allow the list to change before or after the predicted date in case of emergencies. Now this obviously follows on from the first point, where ideally beforehand, usually remember when we had Teledad back in 2008, and they had to emergency ban a Law of Darkness because the deck was getting too fast. It was too powerful and it was stronger than any other deck in the game. They had to emergency ban a Law of Darkness in a separate list and say, okay, you're actually going to hit a law like 2 months before the ban list is turning up. But of course that was during the time when there was 6-month ban lists. If they're having 3-month ban lists and there really is an issue where they bring out a card and it just OTKs, FTKs every single time and it's super consistent, then being able to emergency hit it a month after the list has come out actually really helps. It makes sense to be able to do that, to actually have a lot of flexibility to actually just go, actually this format is really good, let's just push it back as far as possible because everyone really likes it, and wait until a set comes out which is too broken and then we'll deal with that set. It's really nice to have a really diverse format, a really diverse metagame. Being able to elongate that as long as possible is a really good idea. So having flexibility like that can actually really help the game a lot, and it can also keep the same, all the tournaments, that which is what they're doing now. It keeps Euros, it kept nationals from America, and it kept all the other nationals all around, you know, all the ones in the Western world and the TCG. It kept all of them under the same ban list, which is really important because it means that Konami can collect data that is good data, quality data, based on these, like, you know, the decks that are performing well, and they can look at the side cards, they can look at all the cards that they were playing because they have all the deck lists, and then they can go through every single thing and find out exactly if there are any problems, and if there is a real problem and it's a consistent problem along all the different nationals, because obviously nationals is a tier 2 event, it's one of the highest places to play, you can collect good enough data so that you can actually hit stuff properly and not hit things that shouldn't be hit in the first place. So it allows for Konami to make more educated hits, really. Now there obviously are a few cons as well, which obviously if there was all pros then it'd be like everyone should stop whining, but everyone is whining about it. So let's just talk about quickly the cons. The first con, which is probably the most important con, is that you are removing consistency from the game. Now one thing about having an end date on a ban list is that everyone knows that it's coming, right? On, like, for instance, if it does turn up on July the 1st, you know that on roughly June the 25th-ish, around then, around the week of that roughly, you will know that the ban list is going to turn up. So then you are ready, so that you don't have to plan anything on that day, so you can sit down and you can just be at your computer or something, or you can have your phone ready on refresh, you know, spamming F5 on the keyboard waiting for the ban list to show up. If you do that, then you know what to expect. You know, like, you haven't invested into a collection, someone else's collection. You haven't got this huge amount of cards that you have to shift off, because you know that the ban list is turning up. So if Konami removes that consistency from the players, then the players can no longer plan ahead, and there's no point investing into an unpredictable game. How are you supposed to make money if you don't know when the ban list is going to turn up? How are you going to, why would you buy 100 solemn judgments unless you were sure that the ban list was going to turn up soon? Because there's a possibility that it could come off the list and then you make a huge amount of money. If it turns out that Konami says, actually, we're not going to do the list yet, we're actually going to wait another 3 months. Imagine if that was the case. You'd be sitting with all of these banned cards wondering what you're doing with your life, and you just want to quit the game. Konami would have to pay a lot more attention to the game as well. Cards might get hit when they're really not an issue, and actual problem cards may take 6 months to get hit, as they may not be seen as a reason to update the list. So Konami would have to really focus a lot if they're going to actually take the ban list into their own hands like this. They really have to, like, look at all the decks that are doing well, and they have to say, like, really, is it a problem? Really, is it a problem? And then they have to hit it, and it's like, you really have to, like, basically take a lot of freedom out of the player base and not give them any chances or anything like that, and then you just go, fuck it, we're hitting this, fuck it, we're not hitting this. And then so that means that if Konami mess up, the main point here is that if Konami mess up the ban list and they actually take it into their own hands and they screw it up, then everyone will say, you actually made it more flexible ban list, you've got more data now, you've actually set up the ban list the way you like it, so why is the ban list still crap? So at this point you would lose all faith in Konami as a game manufacturer, and you just go, actually, I don't want to play this game anymore because the Konami don't even know what they're doing. So that's basically the point. Anyway, I hope those pros and cons make a lot of sense for you, and if they don't, definitely go into the comments and hopefully I can clarify something for you. But yeah, I'll make a video in a couple of days and I'll see you guys then. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.